Give me a cheer.
Wave.
And to be diverse, we always have opportunities to put our best foot forward by being ourselves. And I've never had a company that allowed me to be myself when I was on the phone, and it really helps out a lot. So the diversity is really what I like about telesales.
Well, what do you think is the biggest misconception about telesales?
I think the biggest misconception is that it's hard to be successful in telesales, when in reality, it's not that hard. Yes, there's pressure, and yes, you have a quota, and that can be challenging, but at the end of the day, you still have your leaders that are there to help support you by providing you daily coaching, in the moment feedback, and making sure that you succeed in your role. And then the great thing is your peers help you to make sure that you aren't left behind and not alone in this challenge of reaching your goals.
So my coach is Max Grunhoff, and since I've been on this team, which has been about 6 months, he ensures that I'm okay, checks in with me. I mean, the little things like snacks, he makes sure that I can come to him about just about anything. Openness is really big with him, but definitely make sure that if I have any questions that he's there, and if he doesn't know the answer, he finds it. So very, very happy with my leader.
Sales, I mean, you can't have sales without having fun. So, you know, that's one of the things we do all the time. We come in, we get fired up, we help each other. You know, you're going to joke around a little bit, give each other a hard time, and then the real fun part comes in when you're celebrating what each other is doing for each other.
So,
Well, no, I've made a lot of changes since I started working here. I first had my first child. She's the light of my life, and this industry has given me the ability to provide for her in other ways I wouldn't have been able to. Family time is really important to me, and I am able to be in control of my own income. Every day I push towards new goals that get me to a level that I'm happy with.
My favorite things about telesales is the competitive spirit and passion for the company and the customer. It's just a different environment and such a competitive nature, and there's such passion for the selling environment, and you just can't find that in any of the other queues, and I haven't seen that in any of the other queues I've supported. So it's just so refreshing to support telesales and see that drive and that strive for excellence with this team every single day.
Want something that's challenging, something that motivates you, and something that incents you for the work that you put in, telesales is definitely the department you want to be in.
awesome. So when you were supporting a team, what were the characteristics that made a telesales associate very successful?
I would say they would be respect for one another, being open to feedback and implementing it immediately. Sometimes it might not make sense to you, but knowing that your leaders have your back and knowing that they have the best interests in your success, that's probably one of the biggest things. And ultimately working together. Some things that don't work, being able to challenge one another and saying, hey, this is what's going to help you to get that sale, close that sale, and continue to get those incremental sales every single month.
So coming into telesales, you didn't necessarily have a whole lot of prior sales experience, but you took the ball and you ran with it.
Yes.
So what advice would you have to somebody in customer service or B2B that may be interested in coming over, but don't think that they really have the background to qualify?
So what I can tell you is you don't need sales experience. If you have the heart and the passion and you really want to work at something that really challenges you, take it from me. I learned a lot, and I feel like I did a great job for the moments that I was actually in telesales. And what I would say is I would encourage you guys to, if you are interested in coming into telesales, definitely give yourself that opportunity, because the leadership here will definitely help you, develop you, and get you to that place. All you need is, again, that passion and that willingness to continue to learn and grow.
Awesome, thanks.
Thanks.
So how long have you worked over here in telesales?
I've been in telesales about a year and a half.
About a year and a half, okay. So what would you say the biggest misconception is about working in telesales?
Well, probably the biggest misconception here is that it's a hard job, that it's very stressful to sell. The good thing about this job is that you're paid to just literally talk to people, just have a conversation with them. By doing that, it's not that you're selling anything, you're actually just offering suggestions and products to someone who needs help.
Okay, so what if you're someone who doesn't have a whole lot of sales experience? Should you still think about coming over?
You're in luck. This is probably one of the easier jobs to get used to if you've never had a sales experience in your life.
Awesome, thank you.
Is that we recognize our associates here in telesales. One of the top ways that we reward our associates is through the Pinnacle Club, and most recently 4 associates won a trip to Mexico. When you want to go to Mexico,